Hey guys, my mic is still not ready. It's still not working and I can't be bothered. So we are going to stick to the earphones. My earrings are so itchy right now, but I'm doing it for the look. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Bara and I'm so excited for this video because when I journaled today, it just all came out and I was so excited to talk about this topic. And I don't know how it's going to go, but for the first time, I actually written a script. And I'm going for a different vibe. Black leather, gold hoops. Also, I've gotten so good at braiding my hair lately. I've been braiding it like every day for the past month because I'm trying not to damage my hair with heat. But I'm kind of liking the look. Like I'm actually growing. Like I don't feel the need to straighten my hair all the time just to feel myself. And I think that's growth. I think that's really big growth. So let's get into it. I'm feeling so positive today. I woke up at... When did I wake up? After all the uni, all the stress, all the workouts, I was able to go to bed at 3 a.m. and I woke up at 11:30 a.m. So I was able to give myself a lie-in, and it's probably the first time that I feel so clear in a couple of weeks. I feel like this is exactly what my body needed, my muscles needed, my nervous system, and I'm able to feel and think more clearly. And I was so stressed out for the past couple of weeks, and I was like, oh my God, I need therapy. I need to up my meds. And it's like, no, girl, you just need sleep. And sometimes that's just what it is. We just need a nap, or we need to eat healthy, or we need to, like, have you eaten? Have you eaten today? Like, if you're like stressed out and you're overthinking and you're like, oh my God, like my life is a mess, just think about it. Did you have any breakfast, or did you just wake up and vape and have a V? So just think about that. So on the topic of feeling more clearly, I was watching this YouTube video from Leo Skeppy, and he articulated it in a way that was something that I always had at the back of my mind. But the way he said it just allows me to further continue the conversation, because it is so true in terms of like when your soul gets quiet or when you can't hear your soul. And a lot of things influence that. And I think especially the past year, I have been able to differentiate when that happens and how I deal with it. And this is going to sound like really crazy and woohoo, but I do believe, and I have experienced, that when you do not take care of yourself, or when you expose yourself to substances and things that are not healthy for your body, it is really hard for you to hear yourself and listen to your soul. I know this is going to sound so woohoo, but just stay with me. I've been through a lot. Like when I tell you, when I've been through a lot in terms of emotions and emotional upheavals and trying to find myself and trying to figure out the right path, mental health, spiritual spiritual journey for me, I feel like this message has been consistent in almost every single form of spiritual, religious conversation. And I think I'm able to explain it in a way that's more easier to understand. So Leo Skeppy talked about when he uses substances or when he gets drunk and things like that, it's really hard for him to hear his soul. And then he had a moment where he freaked out and he thought, oh my God, my soul is dead. And I have experienced that myself when I don't take care of myself, when I don't exercise, when I used to binge eat. What else? When I'm stressed out. So the spirit in you, the soul in you, or the way I like to describe it is, you know that it's your inner dialogue. So your deepest desires that motivate you to basically take action in your life. Why you are here. Why do you do the things you do? Why do you go on that path that you are on right now? I describe that as the soul. I think like when times are very calm and clear, and when you are in a good place, you are able to listen to yourself and then use that voice to move forward. It's not like that soul is not there, it's just a bit hard to hear. That's why I think meditation is really important, because and also taking care of yourself and your body, because you're not divided by these messages or like the voice that's not really your voice. I've learned to listen to it. I've learned to understand where it is, how I can identify it. Also very muffly to listen to when you're overexcited as well, like when you're at a power trip, when you're really depressed, just a lot of things. The times that I'm overly excited, the times when I'm overly stressed, when I'm sleep deprived, when I haven't eaten properly, or when I've eaten too much, it's really hard to listen to that voice. It's really hard to listen to that spirit, because you're clouded by muffling and negative emotions and needs, not out of the purity of what you have to do to move forward, but mostly out of like desperation. For example, like you binge eat and you know that one of your goals is to eat healthy, so the next morning, because you have done that, you're not really following the path to a healthier lifestyle in a healthy mindset. You're kind of maybe restricting or eating less because you want to get to that goal, but you're not actually kind of getting to the deep root of what you have to do. I hope that's a good example, but I'm going to get more into it later on. When things finally calm down, you are able to hear yourself. You are able to hear God in you, the universe, or what you need to do next. It's always with you. It's always communicating with you. And I think like one of the things that we can do is take care of ourselves and just be listening. And you have this internal guide that's always going to show you what steps you need to take next. And that's the beautiful thing about the human experience. Like we don't have this life manual on what to do. It's really beautiful actually. It's like you just really just need to listen to yourself. We have everything that we need and we just don't know that, or we forget that. And that message that is in you, or that soul that is speaking to you, it's always going to change. And that's a really big thing that I've learned, especially the past couple years, is those messages are always changing depending on the different phases that you are in your life. And that comes with age, with growth, the different things that we're exposed to, our circumstances, etc. What my soul needs at 16 years old, for example, is not going to be what my soul would need when I'm 37 years old with kids. Your soul is speaking to you differently at that stage of your life, of what you need to do with your life and what you need at that stage of your life. And you will constantly find new methods on how to reach that. So at this point in my life, I feel like the most effective ways that have been helping me move forward to reach my destination has been something as simple as a to-do list or going to the gym. You know, just these different things are the tools that I'm using right now. And I feel like I'm very aligned with what my soul needs. And these things are going to change over time. For example, a couple months ago, journaling was something that I shouldn't have been doing, and I wasn't doing it because it just wasn't serving me. But lately in the morning, I feel like this is a stage in my life right now where I need to connect and understand my emotions and my feelings and everything else like that. But maybe later on, I'm not going to need that. Maybe I need to find a different outlet and different passions, different excitements to move me on to the next step. And expect that to change as you move forward. So the things that are going to fulfill you then are not going to necessarily fulfill you now or in the future. I feel like people constantly go back to their old methods and what used to work, and then suddenly it's not working anymore. And it's kind of the conversation that goes on in my head when that used to happen to me was, oh my God, I lost my passion, I lost my spark, like painting doesn't fulfill me anymore. This sport that I loved just isn't doing that for me anymore. What I've learned is because my soul is telling me like, hey, I need you to move on to the next step. So you've already alchemized this, you've already used these things to get into the place that I want you to be, but now it's time for the next steps, depending on what you need to alchemize next. Like maybe your soul is telling you to put that productivity list down and spend time with your kids or travel alone. I don't have kids, but like I don't know why I'm talking about kids lately. Soul will guide you through every phase, like through every situation that you kind of go through. Like maybe a family member gets sick, maybe, you want to change careers. It's always good to listen to it. And I have a really good example that I want to speak about. And I hope this will solidify what I'm trying to say. So change is always necessary. Transformation is always necessary, especially for us humans. Like we can't expect to stick to the same routine, to stick to the same desires, the same goals forever. Because if we keep going for them, like where are we going to get? So we continue to chase and get stuck on the goals that we've already alchemized because it made you feel good before. So you're like, I have to keep doing this, but it's not working anymore. Like you need to go to the next stage now. Why are you going back trying to attain or get something that you've already mastered? So you felt that aliveness before, but the thing is you're constantly doing something that's outdated for you now. My strongest values is friendship. I've always loved my friends. I've always loved being a good friend. And after constant failed friendships, constantly searching for that safety for years, I just had to sit there and ask myself, like, why? Why am I constantly searching for that feeling of safety in friendships, that feeling of connection? And then I realized the universe already had given me that feeling. That's why I was comparing it to every single friendship that I had. I mean, how did I know what kind of friendship that I wanted? How did I know what kind of friendship that I needed? And then I realized when I was like around 8 to 11 years old, I experienced one of the most loving, powerful, innocent, caring forms of friendship ever. It was perfect. I never realized this until I connected with that friend recently. And I didn't know that my 8-year-old self, my 8-year-old soul, was able to experience such success in that area. Both spoke about how we had such a rough time creating friends and had problems with friendships right after we moved away from each other. It just made me realize that had already been met a long time ago. And I kept trying to follow that, but that's not what my soul needs at this time of my life. And I think my soul showed me that because I kept going to the same objectives. What my soul is telling me now is that I don't need to chase friendships. Right now, as I feel very aligned, I need to focus on my success, on my career, on my health, and that's the steps that I'm taking right now that feel easy. And basically, that's why it's so important to sit and listen for a while, because your soul is already telling you what the next step you need to take is. And we don't have to search anywhere. Like, God is constantly inside of us, telling us what we need to do, telling us where we need to go, and it's a constant guide, and it will always respond to us when we ask or when we listen. We can always talk to this part of ourselves, and that's kind of a really big reason why you should take care of yourself, because that part of your soul that is really important to listen to, it does get muffled when you don't take care of yourself. And when Leo Skepi was talking about, substances and things like that, I personally have gone through the same thing when I don't take care of myself. I'm going to leave you a couple tips that will make it easier for you to listen to that part of yourself. This book by Ted Andrews, he wrote some things that weaken that connection. He wrote a list: poor diet, lack of exercise, lack of fresh air, lack of rest, stress, alcohol and drugs, smoking, emotional upheavals, fear and worry, guilt and shame, negative habits, and improper psychic activity. And this may be a bit overwhelming if you're in a dark place and you feel like you are engaging with all of those bad habits. I definitely have been there. All of them have definitely reasonings behind it as to why that kind of hinders that energy. But all I can say now is your soul is always speaking to you, and it just may be hard to decipher those messages if your body, your physical body at least, is not being taken care of. Your mental health is not being taken care of. For example, I was so stressed the past couple of weeks and I had a full 8-9 hours of sleep, and now I feel like I've woken up and I can feel more clearly, I can think more clearly. And this is also after 2 weeks of starting the gym. So I'm exercising my body, I'm eating a little bit better, I'm having enough sleep, and now I feel like I have more clarity. I can listen to myself, I can listen to my needs, and I can move forward. These habits may kind of confuse you of what is your voice or what is your impulses. My experience is that it always feels moral. It feels good. That's the feeling you're looking for. When you have an opportunity to listen to yourself, like I kind of have this example where I reach for that rope. So if my soul is speaking to me, when my desires are speaking to me, when God is speaking to me, I reach for it and I hold that rope and I follow it slowly. So slowly I'm just constantly following that string, and it does get stronger and the path does get more clear. But when you are in a very low vibrational space, it is very hard to kind of decipher where it is. What I done is genuinely just follow it, and sometimes I would lose it, but then when I find it again, I grab on and I just keep following, and normally it should feel easy. God speaking to you should feel very easy. It should feel very right. That's the only way I can explain it. But anyways, that's all I have for today. I know today was a bit of a spiritual kind of video, but yeah, that's literally the only thing that's been speaking to me lately, and I've been really good. Like I've been, like, as someone who goes through like really bad mental health struggles and just a lot of health issues and things like that, I feel like just listening to myself has really helped me just move forward with the decisions that I want to make. I think the ones who get it will get it. So anyways, I'm going to stretch for a good hour because my muscles are really sore and it's also on my to-do list. So anyways, until next time, and then we can kiki later.